County Plan Commission. Everyone who appears before the Plan Commission is entitled to a legal right of due process. Therefore, everyone present who wants to be will be given a chance to speak. We will ask that when you are called upon to speak, that you state the name and address for the record. At this time, I'd like to have let's please stand and have pledge to the flag by Adam Ford and then prayer by Jeff Sauer.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father who art in heaven, we come before you now, Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for our homes and our families and all the many blessings that you shower down upon us. We ask, dear Heavenly Father, that you please be with the sick, especially those of our friends and our family and our neighbors. Restore them to a normal portion of health. Please be with those hands who are ministering to them. Also be with those ones who have recently lost loved ones, but thy arm of comfort about them. We ask you please be with the commission members tonight and our audience tonight. Please guide our words, guide our thoughts, that we might always strive to do things that are in accordance with thy will. And ask you please be with our leaders on the state and local and national level. Watch over us and please keep us safe as we travel on the roads this evening. And forgive us of our sins. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
I'd like for our Secretary, Tom Cypress, to please call roll.
Thank you, Mr. President. Wayne Freiberger, Jim Day. Here. Scott Modlin. Here. Shauna Humphrey.
Here.
David Hoare.
Here.
Adam Dufour.
Here.
John Mishler.
Here.
Brad Shelton. And Jeff Sauer.
Here.
For now, recognizing and keeping in mind what Mr. Freiberger said at the last meeting, I'm going to leave that open for his late arrival in case I don't know that he's necessarily not going to be here tonight, but because of his work situation, it does come a few minutes after we start at times.
Okay. He had emailed Scott Long a while ago that he possibly would not be here tonight. Okay. With that, minutes have been sent out by email. Have you had a chance to look at them? Are there any additions or corrections to the January 10th minutes?
Mr. President, I would like to point out that on page 2, it was my understanding when we talked about meeting times for 2012, a proposed schedule had been handed out. Discussion was initiated by Adam before about maybe extending these 6:30 meetings, and then I thought we decided that perhaps all the meetings should just start at 6:30, but at 6.
All seven.
All at 7.
All seven.
Go. You and I are the only one that.
Yeah, okay, well,
Yeah, I said that 7 would be
That's
better
right.
for me, and then Lane said 7 would be better.
yeah, and the meeting minutes do reflect that, so Commissioner Mishler and I had an early supper in Don's.
Well, you know that I see that as a correction to the calendar. Then we change the 6:30 to 7 on there.
And then we'll, actually, it does say all 7 o'clock, the minutes are correct.
Yeah, the minutes are correct.
All right, sorry I opened my mouth.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Jim Day has made the motion to approve. Adam Dufour has made second. It's open for discussion. Seeing none, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries. Just make a comment on that. We will have to, we don't have to at this meeting, but the September meeting, we will have to make a change. Because the town council has this meeting room, your plan commission, I think, is on the same day as September 10th. So we'll have to readjust and make a correction to that or another meeting time. We don't have to particularly do that at this meeting, but we will before we. Okay. Moving on. On there. First order of business, committee reports. We have subdivision. Is there anything to report?
Well, I've been just kind of looking over other counties' subdivision ordinances. There's just a range of pages I've seen, as low as 40 up to 200 pages. And I don't know, I just kind of wonder if we can approach this in a way where we incorporate what we already have. Take a look at the city of Salem, see if we can pull anything out of that, and Harrison County. This Harrison County is so similar to us, and things they have to deal with. But we can try to do, I'd like to really do subdivision ordinance, if at all possible, while we're doing it, at least. That's my thought on it.
Okay.
Harrison County's is only 38 pages.
I've looked at, whenever we were looking at different language of ordinances, I looked at Harrison County, and Harrison County also, to mention it, is a pretty recently redrafted document, so it's pretty consistent with the times right now. I do think it's a document that we need to review in a lot of ways because our counties have a lot of similarities, and then also, if you've ever gone through some training and stuff, they talk about those boundary entities, such as the cities that already have zoning ordinances, and then you're also your surrounding counties, not to try to make yourself an island out there, but as actually making a flow, so you just don't have a direct line of conflict. So I think your point's well taken in that as we move through this land use and how Kerry wants to present it up for different committees, we're trying to keep these committees down low. We might have somebody in a task trying to take a look at those type of things, to draft up and bring some language, before us. So, point taken on that. Anything else on land use? Is there anything of any direction you want to do that, other than make a comment?
I just would maybe, like I said, if we can take Salem's, what we have in Harrison County, and highlight what we like each, I think we can draw our subdivision ordinance, just what information we already have at hand with those entities.
Okay. Anything else on land use? I'm going to move because I think our primary time needs to be done with the work order. We're going to work with suspension of rules. New business, the formation of an citizen advisory. I see in the audience Eric Rugsby, glad to see him back. And we're talking about as far as having a citizen advisory group, we put together for land use. So, days up there, we really don't have the total membership of who we want to be, but I wanted to put that as new business, because what we will do in this is that I'll ask for a suspension of rules for the meeting, for the plan commission, and allow for us to break out and down and have Kerry take over the meeting for our group working group. Then at the end of Carrie's business of what she has for us, I'll ask for us to reconvene the Plan Commission, bring rules of procedure back in, and then we can initiate any business that needs to be finished up for the Plan Commission before we adjourn. So is that okay with everybody? Okay. With that, I'll look for a motion to suspend rules of order and to break out to the workroom.
Make the motion.
John Mishler's made the motion to suspend.
I'll second it.
Oh, yeah, Scott Marlin has made the second. It's open for discussion. Seeing none, take to a vote. All in favor of the suspension of rules, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carried. Carrie, I'm going to turn this format. You tell us if you want us down on the table here to work.
Yeah.
So everybody gets down to the floor.
Yep.
Yeah, Max?
You might want to, do you need to, you changed your calendar, do you need to update the newspapers and the,
We will, as soon as we come up with that. Is it printed out like this with 6:30 on there? Or do you know, Max?
I'm not sure what you sent to the papers, that's what I was,
All right,
I think part of them was 6:30, the rest of them was 7.
all right, we'll make the clarification.
well, that was the only thing.
Yeah.
Rhonda, can you check from where you are?
I'm not on the internet. I can't get the internet from here. Okay.
The schedule I took over there says all 7.
Okay.
What in?
He took a schedule to the paper
Okay.
that says 7.
All right, let's work down to here. In our work.
Yeah, you have to go work. Uh-oh.
Make sure you take your comprehensive plan with you.
I apologize, I didn't get that.
Come on, everybody up at the table with my assistants. Come on.
Pass on somebody else, you use your verse.
You're not gonna sit up here, you at least have to have a card. Index cards are not a thing. Are you participating tonight? That's all I had to do, just say the word. You're getting all kinds of good.
Oh, is that right?
Come on, get up for that.
It's not a
You
crime,
guys
you're really out there to eat it, you're hiding it like.
Max, what?
You guys,
Tom, are you staying there or are you coming down here?
No, I'll be coming to just finishing
That's fine. Well, as we're getting started, because it's my home county and because it ended so disastrously, I did find on the internet the article the next day about our local zoning, and we'll just read a few paragraphs, not much, but it starts out with, very little land in Fayette County will be available for confined animal feeding operations if a proposal that will be presented Monday to the Area Plan Commission becomes law. It did. Goes on, it says, the proposal came about because 3 applications for CAPOs that were considered 4 years ago by the APC. At that time, emotions ran deep between those who believed that CAPOs are farming operations that should not be overly regulated and those who believe that CAPOs should not be allowed, particularly in residential areas. At that time, 2 applications were approved and one was denied. So essentially, 4 years, it took lots of arguing and 4 years to come up with a zoning code that nobody likes, that eliminates livestock agriculture from our county. And hopefully, that's what y'all are going to prevent. Now, again, everybody has different goals for the county, and what's going to be good and what isn't going to be good for the county, I think, depends on the makeup of our group. And so, kind of want to talk about, this is not going to be as long as I wanted it tonight because we didn't get I don't feel like at the last meeting we got the ag committees delineated as tightly as I would like to, or the zoning committees, I should say. So basically, a quick overview of the zoning code would be that there'll be what's called the enactment provisions, and Tom, I'm going to ask you to help me with this. I'll send you a couple drafts. It's essentially the legal aspect of what portions are, I don't even know how to describe it. Tom and I hopefully can work that out. Is that an appropriate use? I mean, is that okay? I mean,
So
I didn't know.
what would an enactment,
It would be things like the severability clause, how it was generated, the language that ties the zoning code to the county. Does that make more sense, Tom? Is that an accurate way to?
Could you copy me on that too?
Sure. Yeah. Okay, and then this is the next thing is I have everybody's name and an email address, but I don't have it with everybody's face.
Okay.
So okay.
Adam. DFOUR. It's Sawshop, SAWSHOP, at Hughes, HUGHES, .net.
Okay.
Hughes, you got that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's me. So that's the first section is the legal part. And then traditionally it goes out into districts, which would be the map that we'd all talked about, authorized uses, which basically is the narrative that explains the map, use requirements, that is the long way of saying that's your ag zoning section. That's exactly what it's going to take to put up a CFO or a CAFO or any other ag buildings that we deem necessary to put in there. It also in and amongst that, in separating out the livestock buildings, we're also probably going to touch on residential, how many acres can be sold off at a time. There's going to be lots of things that are in there, but all those uses will be described in that use requirement section. And then lastly is the special uses section. Now there's definitions and things that go along with that, but we'll look at those in each section. The last piece is the special uses, which basically means there's extenuating circumstances to everything, and so we need to give people a way out or a remedy to come back and say, you have a setback of 500 feet, but my grandmother owns that house and I'm going to inherit it in 10 days, and so, those kinds of things, we need to write those into the special use section. So, in light of that, and in light of the last conversation, I kind of feel like it kind of got derailed in terms of everybody was still holding their hand up if they wanted to be involved, and then kind of putting it down, and then putting it up. So today's the day. You have to decide what committee you're on. You can switch later, but to get invites, today's the day.
so what are your committees?
Number one, I need a review text committee. These people will not necessarily have to come to every meeting, won't necessarily have to come to any meetings, but they will have to take the time to read the emails and look at the text of the zoning code. Number one is grammar. Sometimes when you look at something so long that you miss words that you think are in there. We need people to look at it, make sure it makes sense, make sure it's readable, make sure you can understand it. My goal is to have a document that anybody can print off and can actually understand. You guys talked about looking at older ordinances, and you about have to have a law degree to understand them. So I don't want that style of ordinance, and I would assume y'all don't either. So this committee will mostly be reading the emails, printing the zoning codes, or proofing them online, and getting back with me in a timely manner to say, what the heck does this mean? Or, even if it's wordsmithing, I think this sentence sounds better this way. That's one committee. The next committee would be the actual committee that meets with me on the ag zoning language. I want that committee to meet in about 2 weeks, so that we can actually get started on the meat. I want to come to that meeting with some proposed language. So in 2 weeks, I want to meet with those people. That's the committee that I don't want to have any more than, 10 or 12 people on. But I definitely want people that are going to, show up and be involved and talk. And those meetings won't be driven, even though I'll be running them, I won't be talking like this. I mean, I want to start spurring discussion, have my laptop with me, and kind of write it as we talk so that I can capture what everybody's saying at those meetings. And then the last portion, or the last committee, is I have lots of like different titles for it, but it's kind of going to end up the sort of the catch-all committee. It's that committee that ties everything together at the end, that looks at the ag zoning, it looks at the mobile home parks, it looks at the zoning code as a whole. Did we catch everything? Do we need to look at anything else? Is it comprehensive enough for our needs today? Those members will be meeting more towards the end of the process. And again, you can be on all the committees, you can be on none of the committees, however it works for you guys. But I do need that last group of people, because my experience is once you work for 6 or 8 months on something, you're a little burnt out. And so we kind of need a fresh group to come in at the end to double check everything and tie up all the loose ends.
Okay.
So I don't want anybody to talk yet about what committee you're dying to be on.
We heard about subdivision. I mean, is that something you want at some point? Are we gonna tackle that? Tackle that?
That's not part of our contract, and that is actually a separate ordinance.
Okay.
Control it.
Okay.
Everybody has a note card in front of them.
Excuse me, Tom, on what we're talking about, one is the 600 series and the other is the 700 series, or is it the 700 series and the 800 series? That, what John just brought up.
The subdivision.
Yeah. I think,
I got right here.
$700.
700 subdivision.
What do you want out of the postcards?
I would like the first thing that you write on them, and I don't want names, and I write like a third grader, so this is not a handwriting critique by any stretch of the imagination. But the first thing I want you to put on there is why you think that you guys are doing this. Like, why did you start with a comprehensive plan? Why did you guys start on this path? Your own opinion, not what happened in the process, but why does Washington County, what are you after with the zoning code? That's the first thing.
State that one more time, please.
Why are we doing this? Why do you think? Why did you guys write a comprehensive plan? Why are we here?
Okay.
Put our name in
Nope.
there? Oh.
That's the glory of it, and I'll never know because I don't know handwriting yet. Give me time, I'll keep it. Use them later. Then the next thing is I'd like for you to. This is specific to ag zoning because everybody has shown some interest in it, so everybody has an opinion on it. It's clear, and that's great. I want to know 3 things that you think the code should accomplish for ag zoning specifically. These 3 things will help me write the very first draft. It's always easier to pick apart a straw man. So I'm gonna put a few things down, and it's gonna get red ink all over it, and that's what it's supposed to. But I need your guys' direction to start with. Are we trying to increase animal agriculture in the county? Are we trying to decrease animal agriculture? Are we trying to organize its locations better? Are we trying to, in our county's case, limit emotional meetings? And again, I'm not going to count, so if you've only got 2, I'm not going to be too terribly upset. while you guys are finishing that up, this is what I alluded to earlier. When I talked to David, I did have very nice single sheets of paper with printed committees on the top, and I've been gone since 7 this morning, and evidently that folder didn't make it into the red bag, so you have handwriting torn out pieces of paper, but the end result is the same. I want everybody to sign up for one of the committees. Again, I can't put faces with names yet, except for a few of you, so if you don't sign up, John, I'll know who you are, because you're one of the few I know, and Adam now. So, at any rate, please, and if I could have a phone number, seems like I've got emails, the phone number would be great. I'll start with this one. Well, that's going around, like I said, in 2 weeks, I would like to try to meet, and this would be pending a room over at the government, did you say it's a government building?
Yeah, and I recommend that because that's a pretty nice location to have those type of meetings.
Okay.
We have to post notice on these subcommittee meetings. I guess we have to. We do.
Subcommittee?
Yeah.
If there's gotta be more than 5 of you, and you're actually gotta make decisions and say, no, this is the 750-foot setback. If you make it into the decision,
This came up during, this was something I was unaware of. It came up during the session that Rhonda put on out of Campbellsburg. And I'll have to check on the review the rule again, but Max, I think he has that right.
That's what I understood.
Official action.
If it's more, yeah.
There wouldn't be official action until the whole board voted, would it?
Well, you'd be,
Majority of the.
Then it doesn't matter.
and you'd be cutting it down so you're not seeing like 3 different alternatives
Official
for the whole
action.
board to make the official action on.
Official
You haven't already chopped down to one, do we approve this or not, type situation.
I don't think it'll be any difficulty to go ahead and post it now.
48 hours in advance, put up a notice.
Is that something that somebody local can do for me?
Yeah, we'll do it with Travis here.
Okay, so Travis will
Give
be
me
in charge
another
of
job,
posting.
Travis. I'm good at delegating.
Do you want us to raise this under the table so it's automatically rolls down?
You know, there are certain things that flow downhill, so. You know, it'll be pending as far as when that room would be available, but you're talking about night meetings, so.
Yeah, my goal would be Tuesday the 21st or Wednesday the 22nd. At 6:30 is my preference.
The 21st works better for me.
21st?
This is for the ag.
We're gonna shoot for the 21st at 6:30 then. And, I'll get with Travis once we get the room finalized, and, I apologize, is it Eric?
Yeah.
I don't have your email address yet.
Right, I'll give it to you.
Okay, that's fine. When that thing comes around, be sure to give me both. I think yours is the only email I don't have. And that way I can let you know about the meeting for sure, exactly what room it's in, and.
Sure, yeah, I'd like to be copied.
Sounds good. One other thing is if there are people, because we're splitting it up this way, I suspect that it won't be as heavy to one committee as it was originally. So once we figure out who is going to be on the ag committee, there were 2 other people, and again, I apologize because those are the notes that didn't make it tonight, that were mentioned for the ag committee. And I can come up with those names. What I'm really asking is if I email those names, if I need fill-ins, can I send out a mass email and say I need 3
Yeah.
spots filled? Because nobody knows me yet. I mean, it won't take long, I don't think, but for right now.
Are we gonna try to come back up with those names tonight, what we had the other night?
I think it'll be all right if, I want to see what this list comes back looking like. and then I can send out an email, maybe even tomorrow afternoon, that says, okay, out of our meeting, we have 7 people signed up and we need 10. So,
What about that text? Like
That's-
that proofreading?
that's
Which
the
one
ru-
is
that's
that?
that's the review committee.
The review committee. Okay.
And by all means, sign up for any and all,
Early and often.
early and often.
Okay, so I guess it's the last one you didn't. What was the last one called?
The last one is,
Catch-all, the
Okay,
catch
I got messed
22.
up with the mobile home thing, sorry, I probably
yeah, that's
wasn't
kind of the,
listening.
that's kind of the loose ends one, That's the one where we tie everything up and, you all right, bless you. That way we get everything figured out, we make sure everything flows right, that's kind of that. The loose ends committee is probably also gonna be the one that puts the special use language. So,
Well, how'd, in our thoughts and stuff, you see, thinking about this room or another room, I think we're gonna need to project these things out, you know, and play with those parameters. Have you got the capability or technology?
yeah, I don't have a projector.
I have one.
Oh, do you?
I bought it and then Brad had his, so I never, but I bought it because I thought that was so cool.
I know you did, so
And
that's.
so I have it sitting at home, I haven't used it yet. It's right up here.
That's why we called you.
Hey, I want to embrace technology.
All right,
Box.
so you're in charge of bringing the
Yeah,
projector,
okay.
great. Yeah, so-
He has a helicopter too, if we need one.
All right. It is a-
It's not
I
a
see-
Robinson
I see
R42
another
beta,
tour of
is
the
it?
county coming.
No, 44.
It's an R44, it's not gray with a blue stripe, is it?
No, it's not. And just drop it, it goes up north.
I guess I'm the only one in this county that sees this helicopter. And it did 3 circles around my barns one night at 150 feet.
Where were you now? 60s.
Barn in 65.
Lately, there's been several sightings of an Apache helicopter
I've seen that
flying
one.
here. I saw it just the other night. I was working, and I saw it was over one of my fields. It was actually had all the landing lights on, and it was coming down and almost touching the hills, and then taking off and flying. And it was circling and doing other. And my wife saw it one time too. So there's a lot of military operations that go on. And they practice night landings and things like that. Because they have to wear the night vision goggles.
They're looking for that
That
atomic,
field.
that atomic bomb that dropped in 1958 and nobody ever found it.
I never knew. Oh, that D-52. Yeah, that was in the ocean. They think.
You're close.
Well, the reason I ask, because, you know, I think there's a lot of soil topography, you know, different things we can do, locations. You know, John made a comment, he's getting to roam the county a little bit more. He's going, wow, you know, there's a lot of confined feeding operations that are not identified by permit or other things, but they're there. You know, it's going to be significant whenever we look at that. You know, on this setback limit. I thought about that when I come in today. I'm going, what does this 750 that's on the books right now actually mean? What does 500 actually mean? You know, in the process of that, you know, when I look at, you know, special uses or whatever, I'm still thinking that, you know, green vegetations and some other innovative ideas that have to be identified to allow, you know, things for special circumstances.
And that's why one of the things that I kind of want to get, as we're kind of closing this up, I don't want to take a ton of time tonight because it is such a large group and I don't want to take any official action and those kinds of things, but you know, there are basically 2 schools of thought regarding really pretty much placement of anything out in the county, whether it's livestock buildings or businesses. Essentially, right now, the two schools of thought are a setback system, which also means that you can get not just setbacks from certain things, but you can get pluses for doing other things like vegetation, a topography break, so the setbacks can be plus or minus depending on where you're at. Or essentially a point system. And the point system takes into account all sorts of things. So if you, for example, a popular one is that if you own the house, if you live or own the house that is closest to the operation, then that gains you, half your points right there because you're going to live next to it. Truck turnarounds, 2 routes in and out for county road purposes so that they're not always relying on one county road is another big one. All those things count as positives. And another very popular one is if you've had enforcement action by the state or federal government within the last 5 years or how many ever years, then you take away points. And either you meet it or you don't. Those are the two schools of thought. Now, there's lots of complexities with both of those. That's a very quick rundown. But one of the things I want you guys, especially those that are going to be on the Ag Committee, to think about is, what seems like a good fit for your county and for your topography. And you're varied, topography-wise and soil type-wise across your county. And so think about what's going to suit best considering, the differences between the northwest edge of Washington County and the southeast corner.
I'd like to mention also that, I don't know if y'all remember that Scott Bergens, for those of you who were here, when we were starting our comprehensive plan, he handed out a notebook, and I think that may have been like the Citizen Planner's Guide that's you can find on the net. And it has in there a section discussing that point system as being, I think it's referred to as a more modern trend. And you might want to, before we meet 2 weeks from now, just those on that committee, you might want to review that and see. If we're going to intelligently evaluate and make a decision on which way we want to go, I think we ought to explore.
And what I propose to do once I get the committees, once I know my core ag committee, I would like to by the end of the week have essentially 2 ways to go. A setback or a points and examples. I mean, it'll be heavy on lots of things. There'll be lots of points in it. But for example, the point system example I want to show you will have every county I can find, every idea that's ever been considered by any county to go into their point system. So that you can see, okay, here's one that I've dumped everything into. This is what Rush County's looks like specifically. This is what Fayette County's looks like specifically. This is what, and to show you specific counties and what they decided on, and then have our straw man to look at. And then the same way goes for setbacks. What does Randolph County use for setbacks? They don't use a point system, they use this setback concept. So how do they enforce that? Who does the measuring? Those are the kind of things that hopefully I can have you look at within a few pages to decide between the two and to look at the two. And that will be our biggest decision at that first meeting. I think that's a very good point. Our biggest decision at that first meeting is, which way works better. I might even try to do a little modeling about how setbacks will impact, churches and things like that in the county.
How soon can you show us a map? Or remember, if we did a 750-foot setback, can you bring that to just, so we can kind of see
Yeah.
right off the bat the effect that would have as opposed to maybe 500 foot, how much land you lose by going the extra 250?
I don't have a laptop that has enough to run my mapping program on the fly, but I can do them at the office, get the maps together and get for you to look at. And so, like you said, I was going to model what it looks like, what it does to your county, the setbacks that you currently have. And then do the most extreme setbacks, find an extreme setback example, and then also kind of look at what, point systems, how that affects what the map looks like, because it is so specific to separate locations. But
After doing all of that, is there any way to put that on a topo map and see then? Because I know with confined feeding operations, there's a lot involved, and you put sinkholes all in those, and
Well-
they could be very limited.
Yes, I can put the sinkholes in. I can put the sinkholes in because they're a separate layer. The only thing I'm worried about is whether or not I have the base topo layer. I don't know if I have it, but I should be able to obtain it. What I would probably do is those, there'll be a stream features, the sinkhole features. Then we actually will put karst terrain in there because that's in and of itself is defined as a sensitive area in most cases. And so to kind of show you what that does in the county, if you go on to defining sensitive areas. So to answer your question, I'm not positive I can put it on the topo, but I'm positive I can get at the data that you want to see.
Now, the topo database you're talking about, which one is that?
It would be, I just want the USGS. I can get elevations, but I'd like to have the USGS.
Because I've seen products where, like some of the surveyors will overlay those topos, and then when you actually examine them, they're not lined up at all. I mean, things are misrepresented to the point of if that's what you're using to base your decisions on, that can be pretty tough.
Right, and I think that that's why the USGS maps we're talking about are, most of them were done in the 70s and digitized sometime between now and then. And so that's not a data source I have, mostly because it's not as accurate as I would like for it to be. But the rest of the data that I pull is mostly from, it's on Indiana Map, is the name of the website. And when you go on there, they have an interactive mapping tool that we use a lot for smaller projects, rather than having to import the whole statewide data. But when you're on there on that interactive map site, you can download pretty much any data set that they have. And, the data sources are really pretty reliable. I mean, Tiger data for roads and things like that is getting better because of Garmin's and TomToms, but
Is this something that anybody has access
Yeah.
to, or is this
Indiana
just a
Map is-
license or something?
no, it's free. It's a really neat tool.
You can just go to that map query and
Mhm.
go through all. It's pretty easy. You get
Yeah.
aerial photos, you
Yeah, it actually has some
can
of the most.
hydrology, everything.
It has some of the most recent aerial photos on the web.
Is this what McCormick endorses or? That's the
No, I don't think so.
Robert McCormick.
I don't know who that is. So
He's a two-career retired.
this isn't a zoning tool. This is a strictly data.
Well, his is too. It's a database where what we're doing, he does a lot of that, what ifs, with it.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm probably gonna look into our last digitizing, on through the USDA stuff, because, if we get to a point where we need some technical help, we could probably ask them to come in and work with us a little bit.
You mean
Well,
the NRCS office? I would be.
Sandy has an awesome program.
well, the thing about it is, I
It's whether or
understand.
not she will do it. They have a great program.
Well, yeah, but I understand on the private, keeping that stuff private and stuff. But they can do general things out there.
Well, yeah, and they do. They have amazing. It's just I don't know your district conservationist. Most of them are not excited about anything after work. I don't know.
Well, I tell you what, we got a single guy here that hasn't got much of a social life, that he might.
Let's give him a call. Let's
Yeah.
let's put him to work.
But he is kind of a guru with it too.
Sounds good.
He might be a resource to maybe help us
Hmm.
a little bit.
And, I think that's a good point, that in our zoning code, I think we definitely need to talk about the fact that the data that we pull up on that map, our zoning line will be very accurate. But our what-ifs, if we what-if a sinkhole 20 feet to the left and that 20 feet buys it for them, well then yes, I think if they can verify that sinkhole is 20 feet, then they should have an opportunity to verify that real live on the ground. I mean, we're never gonna get it so accurate that those things are gonna happen, as long as that caveat's in there. But we can get, in my opinion, close enough
Okay,
with the GIS, and it sounds like, you know, if we can get some help with NRCS, as they have an amazing program.
right. Yeah, I don't know how much access we're gonna be able to get into that, but I talked to Seth about this, and he goes, well, I can do a lot of things, even with my home computer in there with the what ifs in there and stuff, so.
Great.
He might not be one that'll be on the committee, but he might be the
Right.
person to be sit there.
I'm gonna
And plug it in on the computer.
That's pretty much what I had for tonight. I wanted to make sure we had our committee finally together.
Are you gonna tell, are we gonna have a drum roll?
Oh, are you guys dying to know who's on the committee with you, or are you just gonna wait on the email?
No, I'd like to know tonight. too.
Sure.
Everybody got eyeballs.
So on the Ag Commission, the Ag Committee, John Mishler, David Moore, Shauna Humphrey, Jim Day, Scott Mullen, Eric Resby, and Max Green. So we do have one too many so we will have to figure out or have one person not show up to get around the 5 people.
Well, wait a minute.
Well,
No,
I'm not a member, so.
Eric is not a member, and Mac is
Max is not a member,
is
so
not a
that's-
member.
Yeah.
They're citizen advisory.
Being a non-member can be very beneficial sometimes.
Non-membership
Is it Scott and Jim Day, Sean Humphrey, David Moore, and John
Yeah,
Mishler?
you had 5.
Oh, still got the 5.
You still have
Yeah.
5. in
Still
there.
got the 5,
But if you
okay.
want to add more to it, though, to get back up to your 10 or something
Well,
like that.
we were talking about adding citizens.
Yeah, we need
What I'll probably do is, when I send out the email for that first meeting, since there is just one too many to get around it, is it okay if we just decide amongst ourselves who doesn't show up to that
Well-
one meeting?
I actually have a meeting in French Lick that night, so I'm gonna have to miss that first meeting anyway.
Is that okay? Can we do that? Is that, I think that seems
That's on the
easier. than-
21st, right?
Yeah.
I just check my calendar, I can't make that meeting.
Or just, the last guy in, if it's too many.
Yeah.
Go home. I mean, I know that that's kind of a hassle, but
Well, we can just post it. I live close to town, so that's not a problem for me to leave home.
okay. On the mobile home committee and the loose ends, Adam, John Mishler, Travis Elliott, Eric, and Max. And on the review committee, Jeff Souter, Shauna, Tom, Max Green, and Adam. Good? And I had, like I said, I think I had about everybody's email. It was just sometimes it's easier and quicker to pick up the phone, so.
Okay.
So, do you want us to,
So you need phone numbers for them.
Well, at least one on,
On everybody?
yeah.
Oh, I see, people put their phone numbers on there, but I didn't. Okay.
You probably need a cell phone or something too, I just put that office number.
Well, honestly, if that's your, do you mind if I call you then?
No, but I'm not always there. I don't get cell phone service at the office, though. The office, the home is the same thing. So if I'm not there, then I'm on my cell phone.
Okay.
So I always do anything now.
All right, well, that's all I have for tonight. 21st at 6:30. I will send an email to confirm it after I talk to Pam Halls tomorrow.
Right.
Go out there tonight.
I will probably leave you and do that. I'll tell her you said to.
Tell her I told. She works all kind of hours anyway.
What do we need to do? Do we have any homework?
Not this time. Now, you will over the email for that first meeting, but not tonight.
Okay, but you're gonna send us homework?
Yes, I will email you from her.
Okay. All right.
Thank you guys very much.
So at this first meeting, are we gonna wanna post it just anyway?
Yeah, I think so.
That's what
I think what we'll do on these meetings in there, I think the proper way, and to keep us out of any trouble with it, we'll just we have these committee meetings, we'll just go ahead and post them.
Oh, yeah, I agree, but was there other issues outside of the posting about the 5 members being in one spot? That's what I was.
That's why it occurred when we posted. And it can be, the posting can be done several ways. We can either decide to do it during the regular meeting, decide the date for any special meeting, or I believe the president
To call for a special.
can call for a special meeting, but you gotta have written, 48 hours. Yeah, you gotta have written notice to other members, two or more members of the planning commission can call special meeting. Notice that. Anyway, yeah, there's.
Posted
I'll
all
look at the
over
language on that, and make sure we're.
I mean, which, should we go ahead and do it through the paper, or what should we do?
We don't, this isn't a publication requirement, it's just a notice requirement. So
Right.
we post it at the location where we're gonna meet, and we send it to the paper in case they want to send it
All right.
forward to attend and report.
Okay. Just as long as the media sources know that there is.
It's not a publication requirement, it's just that notified.
Special meetings of the planning commission may be called by the president or by 2 members of the commission upon written request of the secretary. The secretary shall send all members at least 3 days before a special meeting a written notice fixing the time and place of the meeting. Written notice of special meetings is not required if the date, time, place of a special meeting are fixed at a regular meeting, which we could do. All members of the commission are present at the regular meeting. And, right, all members of the commission are present at that regular meeting. Okay.
All right. So we can go back into session here.
Closed session.
And do this meeting. Okay.
Thank you guys very much.
All right.
I didn't put myself on there, but it's on the.
My kids, I've got a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old, and on business cards are play credit cards.
Oh, really?
That's my favorite thing in the world is the old business card.
Oh, well, that's not palatable.
No, I just mean like they're entered into my contacts and not.
I keep a file, I keep every card I was ever given, and it just goes on like into a drawer and file back, and sometimes, years later, you go, man, I don't know whether that's still current, but, when you get hold of it.
I used to cut them and put them in like a little Rolodex thing or whatever, and it's the same thing, like I've noticed I'll have like 3 or 4 cards, the same person, like, same room.
Yeah. I hate young people because they're always changing their numbers, their addresses. So I always write them in pencil.
Yeah, they don't have the time, which is 6:30, and then I want to confirm that they're having So from it, because would you rather this one? Okay, I didn't know if I could have one or not.
Yes, because you're election times.
Yeah, the half hour helps. I know. I mean, I hate to do that, but
So just going down to your, information too, so have you been receiving?
No.
Okay. Looking for a motion to bring back the meeting back to order.
So moved.
Jeff, that's it. Have the floor, anyone? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same. This meeting is brought back to order. We had a little discussion in the work group in there, looking at the February the 21st. If we can get the government building meeting room at 6:30 for our first land use meeting. And this will be the only committee that will be meeting out there.
the ag zoning.
Ag zoning meeting. So do I have a motion to set that date if we can get that room?
I make the motion set for that date.
Okay, Shawna Humphrey has made a second. It's open for discussion. Seeing none, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, same. Motion carried. So we'll shoot for that. We'll see what that does as far as, February 21st, 6:30. That's government building.
Terry, are you gonna contact Wayne Freiberg?
Yes, I will.
See what he wants to serve?
Yeah. I'll send him an email with a summary of tonight.
Okay. With that, is there any other business that needs to be brought before us at this time, before I ask the audience for comments? Tom?
I have here the Indiana Planning and Zoning Laws annotated book. I think some of you may have had a copy of this in the past. This is the new 2012, or the new 2011 edition. I've got an order form that they sent me with this, and you can have your own copy for $25. And so if anybody wants me to collect money and send off for these, or I can photocopy these forms, but it's neat because it's got all the relevant zoning codes. And then what it means when it says annotated is there are going to be synopses of court decisions that may have ruled on the interpretation of various sections. So these are the kind of books that rarely people like me that often research what to start with. And then if we see an annotation that helps us, we might pull the whole case or whatever. But it's kind of a neat book. For $25, it's I get a discount at $25.
I think I've got, I don't know if I've got 12, but I think I've got one.
Yeah, and this is for the 2011 edition, so.
Can we contact your office if we desire?
Yes. So just call me. I'll hold off for a month or so, till the next meeting. And I just want to put it in front of you. If anybody wants to take this home and look at it, feel free.
With that, yeah. Copyright did anybody make it to the media thing at the ag? I had a conflict in meeting. Rhonda?
Yep.
Max?
Max, Jim, Dave.
Oh, it is. Could you just give us an overview of what you thought?
The thing we went to.
Really? Well, I thought it was a little bit difficult to follow, and it's hard to be kind of involved when it's, I mean, it was a good idea. I think a lot of people probably enjoyed it, but you couldn't ask questions when it was pretty relevant to ask questions. Okay, so it talked about a lot of different things, planning and zoning, and rules about planning and zoning, and duties, responsibilities, what the planning commission is. Just basically explained a lot of things. They're trying to have another one on March 5th.
Max, you had gone through training. What do you think is a duplication of the training?
Somewhat, but Jim found it to be a little bit more to the point. I think he liked it a little bit better than what we sat through for 6 hours to get kind of the same thing. This is kind of leading into it, and then the other one's supposed to be, this was like the basic course, and then the next one's supposed to be a little bit different on why we need the zoning. And that's what I understood it to be, like a 3 or 4 part series thing. And this was going to be like the basics to get you up to speed enough where you could really dig in more on it.
Okay.
So I thought it was probably a good thing to set there. I know the computer went down a couple of times, and you didn't get asked direct questions to the guy doing the announcement thing, but it was, like a statewide deal.
Usually those things are set up so you can ask questions.
Well, you could ask questions, but it wasn't.
If everything was working right.
Yeah, if everything was working right.
By the time you
And
got
they
to
still
it,
had
it wasn't
questions and
relevant
answers
anymore.
at the end,
All right, because I had their meeting, I couldn't make it to that, and I just, okay,
I do have one other thing.
surely not Tom's.
Apologize. You may recall last year, after we were organized at the beginning of the year, I brought up this Indiana Code Section 37, or 36-7-4-213, which sets forth the membership requirements. And I want to bring this up again because it's one of these shall commands from the legislature. It says, if a municipality having a municipal plan commission is located in a county that has a county plan commission, a designated representative of the county plan commission shall serve as an advisory member of the municipal plan commission, and a designated representative of the municipal plan commission shall serve as an advisory member of the county plan commission. And I believe last year, David Hoare served as our designee. The city did not participate in that, although it was Drew Wright, who's the city's attorney, who brought this code section to my attention. So I don't know if that's something we want to do or not, but I feel compelled to bring it up since it is in the statute, something that we should do.
Is it should or shall?
Shall.
Shall.
Supposed to
We're
do it.
supposed to do it.
The city did not do it.
They were,
They broke the.
And I'm not sure if you were able to.
I made it to 2 meetings.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
And we ended up, if you recall, we ended up deciding not to designate a single member, but to possibly rotate. And our president took the first few meetings, and then I don't think we ever really followed up after that. But
Are we allowed to rotate?
Adam's here from the
Adam, what are you doing in the
He's here from the
city?
city this time.
What am I doing? Yeah, I mean, are you guys, you're looking at the advisory part? Are you on the plan commission?
Yes.
That's a coincidence. I'm not here because of that statute.
All right. Are you aware of what he's talking about, or has that been discussed?
Not my knowledge.
I just brought it up to him because I was curious. His presence reminded me.
Yeah. One of those kind of things.
Yeah, all right.
We haven't discussed it. I'm pretty new to the planning commission, so I think I've been on it 2 years now.
Yeah, your tenure is greater than ours.
Yeah. You're double.
I will approach the board about it if you wish.
If you would, and we'll take that as advisement here.
The statute says that a designated member, I don't see any reason why we couldn't rotate. I mean, as long as.
That was the tenor of the discussion we had last year.
Yeah.
We could designate a new person each month.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it'd be a good idea for us to maybe discuss the things that we can learn from and then vice versa.
John thinks it's a good idea, he's on.
What, your meeting date is the second?
Fourth Monday.
Fourth Monday.
If I was a betting man, I'd say it'll be me.
And then the meeting the 27th, which is the cattlemen and pork producers meeting that night. Livestock and grain farm, and that. Jeff.
I was gonna make a motion that John Mishler be our designated
I can on that one.
member
I'll be honest.
to serve as an advisory member to the City of Salem Plan Commission for the months of February, March, and April.
Take out February because I can't make.
March, April, and May.
Second the motion.
All right. Got a second on there for John, will you accept that? And that's March, April, May.
You said it's on the fourth Monday?
Fourth Monday.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor for John Mishler to represent us on March, April, and May at the City Plan Commission. It's open for discussion. Being none, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Motion carried. John, do we have anybody that would?
What time?
7. That's 6:30.
Tell him, he's the one that messed it up.
27th of this month. Anybody can meet on that?
Is that the Cattlemen's?
Cattlemen Pork Producers.
That's what I thought.
Adam, can you do that? Do what now? 27th. What is going on? Cattlemen Pork Producers annual meetings.
No, not for.
We want you to sit in on the city planning commission.
City plan.
Oh, I got you. You're talking about for February.
Yeah.
The 4th, that's the 4th Monday of February?
Think of a conflict, quick.
Going once?
I honestly,
Does it have to be a planning commission member by statute?
yeah.
Yes.
I honestly don't think I have anything going on
Do I need you to have?
Yeah.
Good, should work with Adam on February.
Yeah, that's it.
What if we just take it up to May and then we'll take a look at everybody's calendars as we get a little closer, for the other months. So we'll go ahead with this. So we'll have 4 months out of the way. Okay? Right. Make a motion for Adam to go ahead. Jeff? John, second. Open for discussion, seeing none. Take to a vote, all in favor of Adam Ford to represent us. February 27th, 7 o'clock, here for the City Planning Commission. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Glad to have you.
All right.
This help right here.
Is there anything else needs to be brought before this board at this time? Committee? If not, I'm going to move for a motion to adjourn. Yeah, audience. Sorry about that. Audience, comments? Thanks. Eric, I do appreciate you coming back and helping us out with that. Carrie, get this ship on the right sailing path.
Wasn't sure where you were going with that analogy.
Without a paddle or whatever. Adam, do you have anything?
Don't forget your candy.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm entertaining a motion to adjourn.
So, second.
Jeff, second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, stay here. Thank you.
My husband says.
I'm not supposed to have anything.
Putting her.